I'm often asked to do updated versions of videos, whether that be the best footballer at every age, or the best footballer from every country on earth. With videos like the age one, I don't think it'd be particularly interesting to do an updated version, since it would be a very similar video for the most part, except everyone would be a year or two older. And in the time that it took me to make the best footballer from every country on earth video, I probably could have travelled around the earth, travelling only on camelback, and by rubber ring to navigate the oceans. So the chances of me redoing that video now, that I have to make 7 videos a week, are about the same as Chelsea's chances of overturning a 3-0 deficit at the Allianz Arena against Bayern Munich next month. However, there is the odd video that I have remade since starting this channel roughly 2.5 years ago, and this is one of them. My first video about 7 underpaid footballers came out in December 2017 and featured the likes of Joshua Kimmich and Casemiro, and then I did an updated version in January 2019 which included players such as Benjamin Pavard and Marcus Rashford. All have since had significant pay rises and are no longer suitable candidates for this 7, so players and agents probably owe me some kind of commission for these videos since they're clearly using them as leverage in contract negotiations. Before I get started, there will be inevitably those people in the comments who will say, all footballers are overpaid, cry me a river, etc, etc. Clearly, all of these players are still very wealthy young men, and no one is claiming that they're going to have any trouble putting food on the table or shoes on their feet. Football at the highest level is a lucrative business, and clearly when I talk about players being underpaid, that is in comparison to their peers, not you or me, or in global terms. Here are 7 underpaid footballers, the updated 2020 edition. Andre Onana, £16,000 a week. The lowest paid player in this 7, Andre Onana reportedly earns just £16,000 a week at Ajax. Again, that equates to over £800,000 a year, an amount of money some people will be willing to sacrifice a limb for, but it isn't a fortune for a footballer who played a major part in his team reaching a Champions League semi-final last season. The young Cameroonian number 1 has already made 169 appearances for Ajax at the age of 23, which is an incredible amount of experience for a goalkeeper of his age. Dominant in aerial situations and accurate in his distribution, Onana has also won 16 caps at Cameroon, and he was named as both the Cameroonian Footballer of the Year and as the African Goalkeeper of the Year for 2018. He followed that up with an Eredivisie Team of the Year and CAF Team of the Year inclusion in 2019, in addition to being named as the 7th best goalkeeper on earth in 2019 by France Football. Onana has often been linked with moves to top European clubs, with Chelsea and Barcelona currently the favourites to sign him at the end of the season. He still has plenty of room to improve, and he does have a mistake in him, but a reported salary of £16,000 a week would mean that he earns less than Newcastle United backups Karl Darlow and Rob Elliott, Leicester City reserve Eldin Jakupovic, and roughly half Manchester United's third-choice goalkeeper Lee Grant, so I think he's worthy of a spot in 7th. Niklas Süle, £50,000 a week. A footballer I've talked about a lot on this channel over the last 12 months, Niklas Süle was the most formidable centre-back in the Bundesliga before being ruled out for the rest of the season, although Bayern Munich have so far coped with his absence pretty well. The 24-year-old German international joined Bayern from Hoffenheim for around £18 million in 2017, and he has proved to be a shrewd addition. A fantastic athlete, Süle is quick, strong, assertive in the tackle, and powerful in the air. He is still on the same terms as he was when he arrived at the club, yet to have extended the initial 5-year deal, which he signed 2.5 years ago. That makes him one of the best value defenders in world football as far as I'm concerned, and I'd be surprised if he didn't double his salary at least when he next put pen to paper in Bavaria. Süle's fellow Bayern centre-back Jerome Boateng is said to be earning close to £200,000 a week, roughly 4 times what Süle is on, and the 6'5" stopper has outperformed his more experienced compatriots since arriving at the Allianz Arena. For context, some of the centre-backs said to be earning more than Süle worldwide include the likes of Leicester City veteran Wes Morgan, West Ham's Winston Reid, who is currently on loan at Sporting Kansas City, and Stoke City favourite Ryan Shawcross. Sergej Milinkovic-Savic, £77,000 a week. Lazio are having a phenomenal season right now, currently trailing the Serie A league leaders Juventus by just 1 point, and Sergej Milinkovic-Savic has been key to their fine form. The towering central midfielder had a sensational 2017-18 season a couple of years back, which led to rumours of a £134 million move to the likes of Real Madrid or Manchester United. Milinkovic-Savic had a disappointing 2018 World Cup with Serbia though, and he carried that sluggishness into the start of last season. He improved as the campaign went on, and although not as prolific as the 2017-18 season, this has arguably been the midfielder's best season yet. The 24-year-old is a superb athlete with iron lungs, and he excels in that box-to-box role in which he contributes to all phases of Lazio's play. As well as being exceptionally industrious, Milinkovic-Savic is also strong, tremendous in the air, and really intelligent both on and off the ball. Milinkovic-Savic put pen to paper on his current 5-year Lazio deal in October 2018, reportedly worth a little under £77,000 a week. Having bounced back from a poor patch of form more than 12 months ago, Lazio are likely to have to contend with bids for their star man in the summer, and any potential suitors would likely offer Milinkovic-Savic an enormous pay rise. His reported salary of just under £77,000 a week is less than the likes of Sporting loanee Jesse Rodriguez, West Ham's perennially injured midfielder Jack Wilshere, and former Manchester United battering ram Marouane Fellaini. Heung-min Son, £95,000 a week. The best paid player in this 7, Heung-min Son earns in a week about the same as a decent lawyer earns in a year, but he nonetheless deserves a place in this 7. Tottenham have long maintained a strict wage structure, and in the third instalment of this video, I think everyone has had at least one Spurs player. Following the departure of Christian Eriksen, Heung-min Son is arguably the one that stands out the most. The versatile South Korean international is arguably the most important player at Jose Mourinho's disposal after Harry Kane, combining speed, technique, and no lack of end product. Son tops Spurs' assist charts with 8 so far this season, and trails only Harry Kane in the goal-scoring stakes with 16 in all competitions. The 27-year-old has averaged a goal every 3 games during his time in North London, and a goal every other game this season. While Son is no doubt very well paid, most players of his calibre are earning double what the Tottenham star is set to take home. Isco, James Rodriguez and Angel Di Maria all earn more than twice Son's salary, meanwhile Alexis Sanchez makes more than 4 times as much, and even Theo Walcott and Christian Benteke reportedly earn slightly more. Everton, £22,000 a week. I've talked about Everton Suarez quite a lot on this channel over the last 30 months, and I find it a little bizarre that the 23-year-old still hasn't been snapped up by a European side. Having made a slower start to his career than many Brazilian flair players, Everton has been arguably the best domestic player in the Brazilian game over the last 3 seasons. He's quick, inventive, and possesses all the skill and sparkle one expects of a Brazilian forward. Everton can play anywhere across the forward line, but seems happiest when operating wide on the left and cutting inside onto his right foot. Only one player won more caps for Brazil than Everton in the calendar year of 2019, as the white man scored 3 goals from 12 international appearances. He made 16 goal contributions in 22 league appearances last season, and he has scored 19 goals in all competitions in each of the last 2 seasons. Everton signed his most recent deal with Grêmio in October 2019, which makes his relatively modest salary slightly surprising, and that contract included a £103 million release clause. It shouldn't take that much to get Everton out of Grêmio, with figures ranging from £25 to £55 million previously having been talked about, with the likes of Everton the club and Manchester City having been linked. Ciro Immobile, £77,000 a week. If you divided the Serie A top scorers' salaries by the number of league goals they've scored, Romelu Lukaku's figure would come out at around £11,000, Cristiano Ronaldo's would be over £45,000, and the division's top scorer Ciro Immobile's would be under £3,000. The 30-year-old Italian international joined Lazio in 2016, at which point a salary of under £77,000 a week would have seemed fair enough off the back of fruitless spells with Borussia Dortmund and Sevilla. However, Immobile signed his most recent contract in October 2018, midway through a season in which he scored 41 goals in 47 games, and off the back of a debut campaign in which he scored 26 in 41. In that respect, Immobile's salary seems low in comparison to other forwards who are as prolific, and that is even more evidently the case this season. Lazio's title challenge is thanks in no small part to Immobile, who has scored 27 goals in 25 league games this season and 30 in 32 in all competitions. An intelligent and fleet-footed marksman, Immobile isn't a fantastic technician, but he has first-class movement and striking instincts. His current salary means he earns significantly less than the likes of Josie Altidore and Christian Benteke, and less than half of the salary Odion Ighalo currently makes. That is patently absurd for one of the most prolific goal scorers in world football right now. Honourable mentions. There are tens, if not hundreds of players whose salaries seem low in comparison to their peers, but the ones who made my shortlist and came closest to featuring include the likes of Alisson Becker, Piotr Zielinski, Dusan Tadic, Pizzi, Lautaro Martinez, Alex Grimaldo, and Alban Lafont. Josip Ilicic, £46,000 a week. By purely statistical measures, only Cristiano Ronaldo has outperformed Josip Ilicic in Serie A this season, and the Juventus star reportedly earns 20 times as much as the Atalanta midfielder. Ilicic is no new kid on the block. He won his first cap for Slovenia shortly after the 2010 World Cup, and he has been impressing in Serie A for the last decade. He was brilliant for Palermo, he hit 15 goals in a single season for Fiorentina, and Atalanta must have been counting their blessings when they managed to sign him in 2017 for just €5.5 million. The fine work of Gianpiero Gasperini in Lombardy has been well reported, but perhaps still not yet fully appreciated. Operating on a shoestring budget by the standards of elite-level football, Atalanta finished third in Serie A last season, they're fourth in the table this season, and they thrashed Valencia 4-1 to put one foot in the Champions League quarter-finals already. No player has been more pivotal to that success than Josip Ilicic, who was arguably the best midfielder in Serie A both last season and so far this season. Combining magnificent technique, a fine range of passing, and a lethal finish even from range, Ilicic is an attacking midfielder who often plays just off the centre forward. At his best, he's virtually unplayable, and on merit, he'd be among the best paid players in Italy. In reality, he earns less than Mamdouh does at Stoke City, less than forgotten Crystal Palace forward Connor Wickham, and perhaps most absurdly of all, roughly the same, as Jimmy Bullard earned at Hull City a decade ago. For those reasons, I think he's the right choice at the top of the 2020 edition of this video. That's all for this year, thank you all for watching, hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and feel free to leave your views and any future video ideas you might have in the comments. If you are new to the channel, then I don't just make this video once a year, I actually upload 365 videos a year, and if you'd like to see any of them in the future, I'd invite you to subscribe and turn on notifications for HITC Sevens.